Guys, a toast to all the injured people in wrestling nowadays.
And to hoping they get well soon.
Toast.
Or don't, Cena.
So, if you haven't heard the news by now, well, now you know. Cena is out 6 to 7, 8, 9 months.
I think it's 6 to 9 months.
6 to 9 months with a
rotator cuff.
Yes.
Which I was explaining to Rob when he told me what that was. Like, he told me that that's what happened, and I was like, that's ruined pitchers' careers in baseball, so I don't know how much we're going to be seeing of Cena from now on.
But he's Super Cena, so he's healed. He's had, like, injury, like a broken neck or neck injury before, so if anybody can heal from it really well, it's probably him. So, but it happened at such a terrible, terrible time, because first we had Randy Orton go down for months, like he's missing WrestleMania. Then we had the unfortunate accident with Seth Rollins. He's missing WrestleMania. He had to drop the title, obviously. Cesaro is hurt. Who else we got on this?
Tyson Kidd.
Tyson Kidd, who's been gone
Forever.
For like, a longer time because he got that broken neck. Nikki Bella is gone.
I know everyone's just sobbing immensely.
They're clamoring.
Barrett's out. I don't think we know exactly what's wrong with him. He's been in matches, but he's been not participating in the match, and he hasn't been doing the run-ins with the League of Nations.
Yeah, which was always weird when they started League of Nations. Like, oh, Barrett's in it, but when they do the run-ins, he's not there. So like, what?
Just straight up, just Rusev.
Yeah, just Rusev and Sheamus and Del Rio. So, yeah.
Sin Cara also missing.
He got injured on Raw.
Oh my god, that was rough.
And then still injured, still on the shelf is Danny Bryan. So we don't know if they're ever going to clear him. Do they want to at this point? I don't even know, because Vince and the WWE are a little stubborn or a little precautious, depending on like which side of the fence you are when it comes to that. This affects WrestleMania in a way that they haven't been affected in ever, potentially.
Don't forget about the potential of Sasha being injured.
Oh, and Sasha might be injured.
That's also very important.
Which, that was mine and Rob's prediction for potentially if the belt was going to be tossed up at any point in the coming future. Obviously, they're really pushing Charlotte, but I thought Sasha was going to get the belt at WrestleMania. Doesn't mean that she won't. WrestleMania is still a while away. I don't know if whatever she's dealing with is serious enough that it's going to keep her out to miss it. But
it's not a while away. It's pretty much 3 months.
It could be if it's something as simple as like, oh, she hurt her wrist, she'll be back in a few weeks. Like you don't know what it is.
Let's hope so.
So such an upset though. Like I've been looking forward to her going up to main roster since the moment I started watching. So if she's missing WrestleMania because of an injury, just poorly timed, like that'll just be really a bummer.
A lot of wrestlers that are gonna miss WrestleMania payday. This WrestleMania is also in the Dallas Cowboys Stadium, which holds a lot of people. And when they got the venue for WrestleMania, they were looking to break the attendance record, and for this to be like one of the best, biggest WrestleManias ever. Mm-hmm. This puts a extreme damper on that plan. Love him or hate him, Cena does draw fans. He's still one of the most popular people out there. So he had a potential big match, whether it be with Roman Reigns for the title, whether it be with Undertaker or whoever. So it's going to be interesting to see how WWE adapts to this and what they do, because it's not looking very pretty.
Not only looking at just WrestleMania, but it looked like he was going for a feud with Del Rio. So what are they going to do with Del Rio now?
Because they had to finish that storyline too.
We were talking about that, how Del Rio's really got nothing to go on here. This will be a major challenge for their, how they, construct any of the writing that they do and how they construct any of the matches that they put people up against. They're going to have to get very creative, and we'll get into this, but bringing people up, bringing people back maybe from the past. You gotta hype up people in some way, because all of the crowd-pleasing wrestlers are injured right now.
Yeah.
So.
And not to be the negative Nancy, this really shows WWE's lack of, a better term, ability or just effort into building new stars at this point, because they relied on so much of one person, Cena, that they could have had a plethora of not mega superstars, but a lot of people that people care about if they just made us had a reason to care.
For example, Mizdow.
Mizdow.
Someone like him. He's a great wrestler.
They had this hottest storyline with like him and the Miz going a couple months ago. When they finally broke up, they just had Miz Sandow doing the same gimmick of like copying wrestlers, the Macho Man.
Yeah, they really missed the boat on that one.
They really missed the boat. Like that's like 101 of not to do. They bring up Tyler Breeze and like have him lose
immediately. His first match.
They have Neville.
Neville hasn't gone much of anywhere. Kevin Owens got like a 30-second match like 2 weeks ago.
Like all these stop and starts. Like Neville, like they bring him up, hype him up, have him lose, then they have him win the superstar breakout of the year, and then they have him like win and lose. It's like too many stop pushes. The
crowd, I feel like the crowd doesn't really know how to feel about him. Like obviously he's crazy talented. Yeah, like he's so acrobatic, but like where are we going with Neville? Like, he just has these literal no reason. Whenever, like, Raw doesn't know what to do, random match, Neville pitted against someone else. It's always going to be entertaining, but you're like, why? Like, there's just no reason.
Like, when he won against Mark Henry one week, and then they had him tap to Rusev the next week, that's just idiotic.
It's just showing, like, they honestly, like, rolled dice that have all the wrestlers' names on it. Neville and Rusev came up, and they were like, okay. Like, it's like those sex dice you go to Spencer's, like, they have wrestler dice that they've had made, and that's how they pick some of these matches.
Even Kevin Owens, when they initially brought him up, they had him win against John Cena the first time, and they're like, holy crap, they're actually doing something. Like, they're going to build this new heel that can last for a while. They have him lose the next two matches. Then, like, he's kind of quiet for a few months, then he went into kind of a championship. I thought he was going to keep it until WrestleMania and lose it to Sami Zayn, like, on a returning Sami Zayn, but that wasn't the case. Dean Ambrose, who was also on the cusp of just being like one of the breakout like big stars, but I guess they never really pulled the trigger on him because they were too focused on Roman.
Which, by the way, Roman is so forced, right? Like, doesn't everyone agree? Like, I feel like even like every wrestler can agree that Roman is forced upon us. Like, no one thinks he's the coolest.
I mean,
no one.
He's got a nice look, which is good for them. He's a decent wrestler. He's not the best in the world, but he's got some talent. He's good there. Mm-hmm. It's just that, I don't know, they, like you said, they force him down our throats, and it's just like, okay, I get it.
His character seems super inauthentic, because the thing that they do with him is, like, they force him to be this tough guy by all means necessary, wears a bulletproof vest into the ring. But then they go to the commercial break, and he's the guy that's, like, doing the most Make-A-Wish foundations next to Cena. He's involved with Susan G. Komen. He's, like, involved with the most amount of, like, charitable organizations. Just the amount, the wide range of things that he cares about. He seems like a really nice person. They did this whole story arc with the Wyatt family and his daughter and how much he's a family man. I feel like if they kind of almost took like a Daniel Bryan kind of underdog, nice guy spin on him, he would be so much more likable and believable as a character than tough guy that comes through the crowd because he gives no shits and he's drenched and he's wearing a bulletproof vest from a group that he's not even in anymore.
Yeah.
And now he's wrestling. Like, it's so forced, and that's the reason why I'm trying to like him, and I just don't care. I really don't care at all.
Like, they tried it with the Vince storyline, but like, I don't know, that was like, oh, of course, if he doesn't win the title, he's fired. So like, okay, he's either going to get fired and rehired in a few weeks, or like he's going to win the title. So I don't know. Vince does what he thinks is a good job, but it's not in today's market. He's not like, I don't know, with it this year. Like now, I think he's lost touch to a point, and where he needs to like have input other than Kevin Dunn. Like at this point, because
I mean, he's built a phenomenal business, but the trend is going towards different. I've only been watching wrestling a year, and I feel like I've picked up on the fact that like indie wrestling is becoming a huge thing. Like, they're pulling a lot of wrestlers from the people that are going into NXT are indie wrestlers, which obviously I get it, that's where they come from. But look at the wide range of backgrounds of the people that are in NXT, which are supposed to be the future of the WWE. Asuka. Mm-hmm. You know, like
Samoa Joe, king of the Indies, pretty much.
Finn Balor, who's not American. Like, they have people from all these different cultures, all these different backgrounds, with a very unique take on wrestling, with these really interesting characters that aren't just brute that hops in the ring. Like, I feel like they need to kind of see that fans are okay with a softer side to characters, and them being a little more developed, like how we've talked about even in like TV shows. I feel like characters are like a thing, like across all entertainment. Like they can't just be flat. You can't just have this person that's just, I want to beat the shit out of you just because. And like a lot of the storylines are just that, and like maybe that works for some people, but I think for wrestling fans with a little more intelligence, it's hard to watch.
Yeah, fans like relatable. I mean, why is Daniel Bryan so popular? Because like he could be one of us. You look like Daniel Bryan, according to like
literally
45
looks
people.
Like Daniel Bryan, like, so much.
It's just like that. You can have the balance between like superstars like Cena, like the unstoppable, like never give up attitude, but also like the underdog that you can root for. It's like you always got to strike that balance because the main crowd is balanced like that. There might be a lot more people who don't necessarily know like about the indie stuff or even NXT, even though they promote it so much. Because like, how do you get reactions like the Full Sail crowd and get like pin drops with NXT matches on WWE? Like Kevin Owens and Neville should have been taking like bringing down the house. Becky Lynch versus Charlotte should have been like a great match, but if the people don't care about it, their reactions are gonna adjust accordingly, and that's like a thing that's happening.
Going back to the injuries for a second, we did forget someone. Forgot somebody very main, actually. Sting.
Oh yeah, Sting.
Completely forgot.
Yeah,
Sting is retired at this point.
Yeah, he's pretty much gone.
He literally broke his neck.
And there goes like the Undertaker versus Sting match that we were potentially going to get.
Yeah, I didn't think that was going to happen either way.
I mean,
that was were they going to come in walkers?
I don't know who's going to fight the Undertaker. I don't know where they're going.
Undertaker's like ugh.
Like they're set on Undertaker being there, but against it. I mean, when we were watching tradition. Undertaker earlier this year, I guess, like late 2015, it seemed like the potential for him to have his last match would be WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And if there's no one for him to like fight where it's this giant, climax and giant defeat against like someone like Cena, against a huge fan favorite, very, very popular wrestler, like he's gonna lose to Rusev. He's gonna lose to
Del Rio.
Neville, Del Rio. Like,
I don't even see who's on the same level
as seems
so
Brock. Random.
Cena.
Brock Lesnar we've seen. It's so tired.
These are like icons. Cena. Brock.
The
Sting.
Rock.
The Rock. It could definitely be The Rock. The Rock's fought Taker at Mania before.
Not at Mania, no.
It could be him. I just don't know.
It's a stretch. In 3 months, we're going to bring back The Rock from last time we saw him was last WrestleMania.
They did tease him already being at WrestleMania. We just don't know in what capacity.
But I think they really wanted to continue the like Ronda Rousey angle.
You don't need to force that. It's not necessary.
I wonder if her star power is diminished now since she had her first loss too.
Maybe. I mean, she's still
like relevant.
She said she was taking a break, so I feel like she's headstrong enough that she might just not come.
Like, I mean, she's a huge wrestling fan on her own. So.
Yeah, she's like one. So
she'd probably be one there anyway.
So all right. So that kind of went on to like a little rant, but now we go into Royal Rumble, which I think I'm going to end up going to another rant too, because, all right, prior to Cena being injured, Vince McMahon has a storyline. It's like, all right, Roman, you're going to defend the title at Royal Rumble. I thought it was going to be like 3-on-1, like League of Nations with the way he was saying it. It's like, 29 other superstars. And as soon as I said that, I was on my computer, I'm like, no, you didn't. Like, that just completely ruins the Rumble, like, from my perspective. It may end up being great, like, the way they pull it off, but you have a few scenarios. One, you have Roman win back-to-back Royal Rumbles, because he won last year, and to defend successfully the title, he's going to have to win it. Two, he loses it to a pretty much transitional champion at this point, where he's going to win it back at Mania anyway, so that could, like, kind of diminishes the luster. Or three, just have... I don't know where 3 is, but the first two, I think I had a 3 and I just remembered.
Up until
but, like, what, do you have Brock win the Rumble by just tossing Roman Reigns? Like, that rematch that they were potentially going to have? Like, that diminishes Brock winning the title back. It's like this, you've already ruined the Rumble by not having the journey of somebody new taking the number 1 spot in their arc to WrestleMania. Like, one of the highlights, one of the reasons why Royal Rumble is so great is because the potential to build up new stars. now you've taken that away because you've tried to literally force Roman Reigns again down our throats and trying to get him over. You're using the entire Royal Rumble to get him over, and like that's not cool in my eyes. But I don't know how you feel about
that. I don't know where they're going with it. I feel like I don't know. I have no idea. It's very very up in the air.
And I guess that's good because like we don't know where it's gonna go, so it's not
like I feel like it kind of has to be Brock. Because who else is it going to be? Like, we don't... There's literally no one else. Everyone's injured.
I don't know. Like, I feel like just from even, like, a basic standpoint, like, not even looking into the nitty-gritty of who's going to fight who and speculating, like, the very fact that wrestling is something that we all like. I'm a new fan to it, but obviously these guys have, like, you know, for a very long time. And that you're not really excited to watch Raw. You're kind of almost like, oh, what's gonna happen tonight? Like what's gonna happen on this next pay-per-view? Really, like, don't think it's gonna go in any way that's thoroughly gonna excite or entertain me, but might just be some fuel to laugh at. Like, the fact that that's the way that the WWE is kind of going is disappointing, and it's a waste of a lot of the amazing wrestlers that they have there. I don't know. I just think that they could be doing a lot. It's mismanaged, really. Is what it is. It's a matter of it not being done properly. It feels like a waste.
So going back to the Rumble, you can have a dream winner and who you think is actually going to win. Angel?
First, we're not complaining for the sake of complaining. We love the WWE. We just continue to support it. We're not gonna be that like, oh, I'm unsubscribing. I'll never. No, because like any good relationship, you go through its ups and downs. We can't go through this low.
Baby. You're just going through some hard shit.
We can't go through the low and then get to the high without that journey. It's great, but like potential dream winner, I would love for Kevin Owens to win and it's like defend it against. I guess if Roman, why not? Like. If you have Kevin Owens be a transitional champion, at least you can build him up enough, and it will be a good storyline. But I think it's going to be Roman. That's how it is.
Like, there's literally no doubt in my mind that it is going to be Roman. But I agree, it would be cool to see it be Kevin Owens, because I guess out of everybody that they haven't built up, he is the biggest fan favorite that's still kind of waiting for his big push. So that would be amazing, especially in this time where the stage is empty. It's like someone step up and take control and give us something to care about, because they're trying with Roman, but you could see the crowd reaction to Kevin Owens. He literally just walks out and people lose their minds, like even the fans that barely know him from NXT and stuff, because he's got such a presence. He's got a great character. He looks like any one of us. He's kind of got that underdog thing, jokes about how he never runs for anything. Like, that's a cool character that everybody can relate to. So. And
he cares about winning and losing. Like, when he lost the championship and he lost to Neville, he just, like, literally killed Neville. Like, It's, like, so many wrestlers, they're like, oh, they lost, but I'll get back up and do it again. He's like, no, winning and losing, that's his money, that's his, like, food for his
lifestyle.
Family. That's his lifestyle. He's a prize fighter, and that's like an interesting character at this point, because so many like wins and losses by characters. Like Dolph Ziggler, how many times has he won and lost? Like, who cares about Dolph Ziggler?
Literally roll a dice. Like, Dolph Ziggler is just like on Raw. Why? I don't know. Because he spent too much time in the tanning bed. They had to get him out of there, so they just shoved him out. And okay, I guess we'll have him wrestle against whoever. I'm sick of that. I think that wrestling fans deserve a little more than the same, like, 5 or 6 wrestlers every week wrestling one another just because. They just have a slot on Raw just because it's in their contract? Like, I don't understand. Sorry, I'm getting off.
To cut you off before, I just thought of something right now, like a potential, like, awesome... What if all of New Day won?
Actually, that's exactly what I was going to bring up.
Were you? Okay.
I was going to make a joke. I'd be like, oh, haha, dream winners. Oh, I really want Big Show and Mark Henry to win.
Yeah.
And then I was going to be like, I mean, you guys said mine already, Kevin Owens. Right. I really want Kevin Owens to win, but in all seriousness, New Day has the tag belts, and there's 3 members.
They share the two.
I feel like if anybody out of the New Day would go for, like, the title, Big E. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I could totally see Big E dominating the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Which would be nice, because everybody's on a New Day.
New Day high.
Maybe.
Kofi has been in ladder matches. I mean, like, he's the most seasoned in all the different types of matches than anybody else in New Day. Big E's obviously got the huge presence. But
I feel like Big E's more of what they're looking for, though. He's gigantic. And he's got crazy charisma.
Yeah.
And everybody loves the New Day right now.
Yeah.
So.
And they could literally share the title. Like how they share the tag team titles. They just like, have Xavier Woods defend the title.
We are the WWE champion.
Yeah, we are the
that's my favorite thing going on in the WWE is
the New
Day is honestly like, I feel like that's the essence of like what wrestling fans are looking for. They're a bunch of guys that are goofy. They literally wear unicorn horns. Like, they embrace that they're nerdy. One of them has a gaming YouTube channel. Like, I feel like they're that idea of kind of like an indie wrestler. They're weird. They're kitschy. They have strange things. Like, if they were big in indie wrestling, I could see all the indie wrestling fans of theirs wearing unicorn horns. Like, I feel like it would just, I don't know. Like, that's what wrestling needs, is more, like, at least fun, relatable, like, interesting, different characters instead of the same old, repetitious, same old thing.
It's a product of, they gave them a gimmick. It didn't necessarily get over at first, but they stuck with it, got over on their own, and then the fans love it. Look like how much people love it because of that. Yeah. If it was forced down our throats like they were in the beginning, I don't think it would have gotten over. Yeah.
I hated New Day in the beginning.
Yeah,
because it was so fake. It was so forced. They weren't funny. They weren't themselves. They weren't doing anything different. They were just there.
When I first started seeing those promos, I'm like, what am I looking at? And who was it that came out and did like a promo? I think it might have been Xavier Woods, actually, that came out to, like, before the New Day even existed. He's like, what are they doing with us?
Oh, like, yeah. He was, like, in the ring. Like this,
and we thought it was going to be, like, a Nation of Domination sort of thing.
They even thought so, too. If you remember the Table for Three, they're, like, joking at that. It's like, everybody thought we were going to be the new Nation.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't.
Would have been weird, to be totally honest. Because I can't see them as serious at all.
But they have more of a grasp on it, I feel like, than anyone else. Like, they're not afraid to bring in strange props. Xavier Woods now brings a fucking trombone to, like,
I think that trombone was the turning point.
Which is insane. that just gets everybody going. Yeah. It's a great idea. Not to mention, too, that they bring in pop culture to every single promo that they do. It's not just, we're gonna win. I'm gonna win. He's dead. Yeah. Walk out. Like every other promo on Raw. They actually, whatever city that they're in, they'll put down the sports team of, like, whatever it's, like, important. They mention, like, the botched Miss America thing. Like, they're totally on it. Like, they get people involved because they get it. They want to keep it interesting from week to week.
Going off track for a second, high point of 2015, New Day's trumpet versus kazoo.
Yes,
Edge and Christian.
When Biggie ate the kazoo,
that destroyed me. Yeah. I was done. I was just like,
even
what?
Before in the same promo when Xavier Woods did the Final Fantasy theme, like,
oh my god, that whole thing was just like, what?
Yeah,
what am I watching?
Like, Xavier Woods bringing in the trombone, it's like, all right, they're off, and now they're skyrocketing. Even the incorporation of the unicorns may have been forced at the beginning, but, like, all right, it works because they had the horns and whatever. Yeah. And even when they do their stomps in the corner, they call that the unicorn stampede.
Yeah,
I was like, that actually has a name on it.
It's like, so creative. Yeah, like,
what? Xavier Woods is just, like, an outstanding, like, person. Like, he's, like, doing his thing outside of the wrestling world. Like, he's getting his PhD. He's, like, a cool guy.
It's crazy, like, how far he's come.
Yes.
Like, NXT jobbing to freaking Rusev, like, as was it Apollo Creed? Is that what they called him?
No, he was still Xavier Woods.
That one match where he came up with the full America, like, outfit.
Oh, in NXT.
I think they just called him Apollo.
Oh, well, he was that name in TNA.
Xavier, what was it?
Consequences Creed.
Consequences Creed.
Yeah. They're a powerful group, I feel like, too, because each one of them is really different. Like, instead of, like, look at, like, Team Bad. Why is Tamina on there? We don't know. She has a dad that was relatively important years ago. Like, when you look at, like, New Day, every one of them brings something different. Kofi is definitely the weakest speaker. Does he bring something to it?
I don't know about that.
I think that he's the weakest, but he is the most experienced in ladder matches. He has different wrestling styles.
He's the high flyer.
Yeah, he's the high flyer. Biggie, obviously, huge dude, hilariously funny, amazing speaker. And Xavier's the best speaker out of all of them.
Yeah.
He's just the renaissance man of many talents. He plays a trombone. He's amazing at gaming. He has a freaking PhD. Like, he can't be stopped. I dare you to find a wrestler that's more well-rounded of a person. Yeah. They bring so much to the table. Like,
he'll dress up as Rufio, and he'll dress up as Gaston. Like,
mm-hmm.
That hair was ridiculous.
Like, God damn Xavier, why are you so cool?
He's got everything.
So, all right.
Gonna do a Michael Cole thing, switching gears.
Switching gears here for a moment.
Michael Swole.
Michael Swole!
So we have Royal Rumble. So that we think whoever's going to win. We all think, I guess, Roman's going to win.
I didn't say my who I actually think's going to win.
Who do you actually think is going to
win? Brock Lesnar. I'd be so surprised if Brock didn't win. So, I mean, they're making a big deal of him being on Raw next week. He has to win.
I actually kind of forgot that Brock Lesnar was involved. That kind of changes my thought a little bit too. They
haven't fully said yet, but it's assumed. I'm assuming. I'm assuming that they're assuming.
Like, ladies and gentlemen.
By proxy.
Yeah. My client Brock Lesnar has officially entered himself.
Wait, isn't he injured or is that fake? I saw online that Paul Heyman was injured.
That's probably just a meme because everybody's injured at this point. All right, so who do you think WrestleMania 32 main event? Because they stopped numbering them. They're idiots. But main event, who's WrestleMania?
Brock Roman.
Okay. I don't know. I could see Brock Roman being a thing. I'm going to throw it out there. Just prediction. Daniel Bryan's going to win the title. Just going to happen.
Oh, yeah. We forgot about Daniel Bryan.
I feel like they don't want to do that because they've already done it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just throwing it out there because I think they need something.
Don't get me
that's
wrong.
What the crowd wants. They're going for the biggest WrestleMania ever. How many times did Triple H talk about how this is going to be the biggest WrestleMania ever? Crowd needs something.
I would love it, but I feel like it's not going to happen. He's not even back yet, so...
I think he could pull a Seth Rollins last-minute move of some sort. Potentially, crowd goes nuts, he wins.
I hope so. Maybe we'll get a triple threat out of it. I just can't even imagine who the third person would be.
If it is Daniel Bryan, Brock, Roman.
You had mentioned that Daniel Bryan was kind of teasing it, excuse me, on social media, saying, when is the WWE going to clear me?
Yeah.
I
retweeted that, too.
Oh, my God.
I think it's going to be ended up Brock Roman. I think it's too predictable with the repeat. Because, initial plans was going to have the rematch of the triple threat. Well, Brock, Seth, and Roman, which I would have been fine with, because Seth would have, made that match great.
You know who could be the third person, now that I think about it? I mean, they're kind of... gearing up for Triple H Roman,
maybe
Triple H Roman Brock. That's a weird match.
I don't know where Triple H.
Biggest WrestleMania ever. Triple H Roman.
I mean, Triple H seems to like to wrestle WrestleMania.
He does, but they've been teasing the Triple H storyline. I don't know if he's gonna cost Roman the championship at Royal Rumble. That could be a thing. If they clear Daniel Bryan, everybody's gonna look for Daniel Bryan in the Rumble.
I hope they don't make the mistake of not having him in the Rumble again and hating whoever's
there's also Sami Zayn, who's potentially going to be in the Rumble.
He's got to be in it.
I think that would be a great fan service to that. Kevin Owens, him going after Kevin Owens.
Do you think they're even going to acknowledge it though? The NXT rivalry of Kevin Owens?
Probably not. But
if they don't want to.
If he had the IC belt, then definitely. There's so much stuff that could happen in the Rumble because you have the Wyatts, you have all four members there. They could run roughshod in the Rumble for a few entrants, eliminate everybody, and then Brock comes in and eliminates all of them. That could be a thing. Big Show's number one because he's a career killer because just have Big Show go over. Remember last year they had him and Kane eliminate all the baby faces last year, and that was terrible. Last two Rumbles were terrible. Crowd reaction wise, because they turned on it so hard.
Poor Rey Mysterio.
Rey Mysterio, yeah.
Oh my God! Just because he wasn't Daniel Bryan, he became the biggest heel in the building,
in the world at that point.
He's really, guys? It's just me.
It's I'm sorry, they didn't put Daniel Bryan in. Whatever.
They can grow a beard, I guess.
Yeah. Taking a positive turn, we actually haven't gotten to a major point that we wanted to talk about of the people that could potentially be brought up to WWE very soon. So this is the most exciting thing that could happen.
However,
it's kind of like a circle jerk of excitement if it did.
But
I don't know.
But speaking of the NXT, there was also another part of Daniel Bryan tweet who the reason why he was so enamored of WWE clearing him was he mentioned a certain wrestler that he wanted to wrestle. Rob, that guy is
Shinsuke Nakamura.
Shinsuke Nakamura, yes. WWE went old school WWF when they would go to WCW and like just get all their talent. They signed 4 people from New Japan Pro Wrestling. Shinsuke Nakamura, Machine Gun Carl Anderson.
Was that Machine Gun Kelly?
No, I was going to say Machine Gun Kelly.
Not a repeat of last year's WrestleMania.
Doug Gallows, who was formerly Luke Gallows of the Straight Edge Society, and one Mr. AJ Styles, which is probably like the biggest acquisition. We're talking about indie fans. Like if Samoa Joe was like the king of the indies, like AJ is like
Prince.
It's Prince, the Prince of Indies, like the Baron Duke of
the
Indies. They were 3 of them were from the Bullet Club in New Japan. Bullet Club is pretty much NWO 2.0. They do the 2 Sweet, they do the 4 Life, they same colors. If you haven't seen any of their stuff, like go. It's pretty cool. Like it's super over. A lot of people in America wear the Bullet Club shirts. I'm about to go look for one too because that's like I love like the Bullet Club right now because of what it potentially could bring. Even the Balor Club, if anybody's watching NXT and like the Balor Club stuff.
Ladies, Finn Balor, if you don't know him, you ought to.
You ought to.
Wait, here we go. Balor Club, right here.
Check that out.
Yeah,
which Finn has come a long way because he used to have that shitty plastic masks and now he's earned the cloth.
So, they are going to be part of the main roster.
Well, we don't know that yet.
I think they're going to skip main roster, at least most of them. But to infuse them with the NXT people is going to be great. A lot of dream matches, AJ Styles versus Joe, AJ Styles versus Finn. But as I take off all my Finn gear,
various Finn gear,
because I'm Finn fanboy, do you think...
I love Finn.
Speaking of...
If Finn was brought up to the main roster...
People being brought up.
Like... I literally fell to the ground and like happy cried when Sasha was brought up.
Oh my god, that was so exciting.
But I would have equal reaction for Finn being brought up because you want to talk about a wrestler with like heart and so much freaking talent. It's stupid. Like, oh my god, it would just be so exciting. My main fear with it though would be like he's so freaking cool. And I feel like they would mess up his character so hard, and they wouldn't give him the entrances that he deserves, which are so important to his character. Like, I don't know.
They'd cut his music so he couldn't have like the.
They'd have that stupid thing, commercial break. They come back, he's here. He never had an entrance. Now he's there.
As Becky Lynch would say, Virgil, he really deserves it.
Yeah, Virgil, damn it,
Virgil.
Trot.
If there's anybody that they could pick, like pluck, that's ripe. From NXT to the main roster, one would be Finn. Who else do you think to like kind of fill the gap, to fill like a void? Because the only other option I'd say would be Samoa Joe, because he's.
I was gonna say Samoa Joe. I mean, you don't want to leave NXT with like a lack of talent. Although we have some people coming back probably. Hideo Itami. Right. He should be back very soon. He's been injured for a while.
Depending on which of the 4.
Another thing with Hideo Itami, I don't want him to get overshadowed by these new guys because Hideo Itami's really good, and he might get overshadowed because
I don't think he got the chance he got just because he got injured when he
did. Straight up, like right before he injured, they were going to Japan, Beast in the East. I feel like he was the guy to win that, and not Finn. Yeah. And it's just unfortunate events. He got injured. Finn won the belt.
Imagine
that Kevin Owens and Tommy match would have been
Finn's
ridiculous.
Finn's got history in Japan as well, so it's not like it didn't seem to fit.
Yeah, it worked. It definitely worked.
But imagine Brooklyn being headlined by Tommy Owens.
Yeah, I don't even know
that
what
would have been so weird.
I can't even imagine how it would be.
I don't know.
Well, we got the better end of that deal. Sorry.
Yeah, really.
So, all right. The thing is, like, you don't want to leave.
NXT's looking a little bare.
You don't want to leave NXT high and dry.
Like,
right.
Even the women's division.
Chatterboxy would have enough minutes on this damn camera, but alas. So you were talking about the women's division NXT, how when they took the 3 main ones out, it looked a little thin.
They're already not doing justice by them, I don't feel at all. I think it's honestly a joke and an insult. Like, I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not saying Tamina is the worst person ever or Naomi is terrible, but Tamina is barely a wrestler. Naomi is good. Sasha is amazing. Sasha has, like, caliber to clearly win the women's belt, and she was in the freaking first women's Iron Man match in all of WWE history. It's so sad that she's on this lame Team Bad that just barely does anything. So before I get into any sort of a sidetrack of that, they already have Sasha, Charlotte, and Becky. Becky barely gets any of the limelight. When she does, it's very haphazard. They're kind of Dolph Ziggler-ing her, of her having random matches and her winning and losing for really no reason. There's no build-up, it just happens because. So we don't need to pluck up any more women from NXT because they're already doing a disservice to the amazing talent that they have, which is the best talent of the NXT right now. And when you look at NXT from a women's perspective, you have Asuka, Nia Jax, Bayley, obviously.
Alexa Bliss.
I feel like it's already kind of weak, I have to say. Bayley's amazing.
Carmella.
I think that Asuka's amazing, and I think that Nia Jax has the potential to be amazing. Everyone else from there is a much lower tier. Carmella's good, she's not show-stopping good. I don't think she necessarily deserves the NXT Women's title at this stage in her career. So if we're going to start plucking people from NXT, they're going to have pretty much no one.
On Twitter, actually, I believe Bayley and Carmella is happening for the belt next week on NXT. I don't know if you knew that. That is happening.
Well,
maybe they've been training her really intensively. We haven't seen her in a while. But I don't think they need to pick up any of the women from NXT. Men-wise, what do you guys think?
If anybody, I'd say Joe. I say Sammy.
Finn.
Tommy, if he's ready. I don't know if he's good yet, injury-wise. Finn needs to lose the belt before he goes.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe they'll just do the Kevin Owens thing and just kind of
honestly, if Finn's going to lose the belt, he's going to lose it to Baron Corbin or Apollo.
I was just lose it to Baron. They're pushing him, and I think he's next.
I think Baron Corbin's another kind of Roman Reigns case for me, of he's being pushed really hard. We've been watching Breaking Ground, and I still barely give one single crap about Baron Corbin. His character is also really forced. He's a heel. I love a lot of heel characters. I'm cool with him being the bad guy, but why? He's not even too bad. He's not charismatic. There's nothing about him that I really care about.
You gotta keep in mind it's still developmental. He's still learning to do things.
Mm-hmm.
So
and that's a point. Going back to your point about the divas, they don't make us care, then that's gonna show. So if they don't have they keep having these random matches, what are we rooting for? They're just a match, and people are not going to cheer just because it's Charlotte and Becky. We're going to judge them the strength of their story and the reasons why we should care. So that's really hurting them, the fact that they don't have solid storylines right now.
Right.
Give us a reason to care, and we will.
Legitimately, the build up to the Becky Charlotte match was them pinky fucking promising.
Yeah.
What are we in 3rd grade? Becky and Charlotte are full-grown adults. They're, bona fide wrestlers. It behooves them to give them this lame story that we're gonna just wrestle because we're BFFs and that's what ladies do. It's so lame because they're trying to bring the women's division up, and I don't know if it's Vince or whoever is doing this, but it is so misogynistic to keep it at such a lower tier. Everything is so underdeveloped for where it should be. You have amazing talent. You could throw, honestly, any of, Becky, Charlotte, or Sasha in the ring with any of the men's wrestlers, and I think that they would hold their own. That's how confident I am that they're good wrestlers. And they give them these lame stories and put them on teams, which they don't need, because they're amazing wrestlers on their own.
Mm.
It's just lame.
Yeah. And then going to your point about, taking NXT talent, and you saying it is developmental. It is developmental, so we kind of, forget that. I feel it can be Baron because, no pun intended, because it is developmental and you have to develop them further, and these are rookies essentially. So NXT is getting this limelight and all these sellout shows, but it's still they're still babies. They're still growing.
They're still
babies. I don't know. It's kind of like pushing them too soon with all these. All right, you're selling out Brooklyn now, but they're still can be so green in the ring that we kind of forget that.
Yeah.
It is an extension of WWE, but it's still the minor leagues. It's still, like, you are seeing these people grow. Not all their characters are going to work. They're going to, like, start and stop. They're going to revamp their characters a lot because that's what it is,
that's
essentially.
What it's about. It's about finding themselves.
Like, I hope they don't lose that as NXT continues to grow, so we'll see.
Surprises for the Rumble, special guests and whatnot. Any predictions? Got anybody in mind?
Alright, little fantasy book in here.
Take a swig of my beer before I begin.
Any old schools? Any NXT guys, I
really want, even though they're not going to be over as well as I would imagine them to be, and I don't know if they have the name properties for it, I really want AJ and all those guys to come in as the Bullet Club and like run roughshod on the like, if there's a storyline to kind of tell for WrestleMania, you can have the Brock Roman, but you need like that B story, and I think the Bullet Club could probably like fill that gap with the missing stars.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need, alright, you need the big stars, yes, but if you don't have, you have to deal with the hand you're dealt and to work with what you got, and if they do it properly, yes, people, the casual fans are going to call them NWO ripoff because, like, they essentially are. They would have to take some other stuff. Like, they can't do the Too Sweet for Life type of thing. But if they come in as, like, this faction that can essentially, like, destroy the Wyatts, destroy League of Nations, like, run roughshod, just, like, be the dominant group, and then you have these people.
I can see New Day having a funny sort of,
like, and then they just, like, kill New Day, too. Just, like, have them, like, heels. That could work, but I don't think so. So I'm just going to say DDP is going to be in the Rumble.
He was last year, wasn't he?
I think so. The year before it, so.
We're probably going to get, let's see, what did they get? NXT guys, probably Enzo and Cass. Wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
I think they're ready. I think they're ready to go.
Yeah, especially if you told me to see the Hype Bros.
I kind of forgot.
I would love to see Samoa Joe. I don't think it's going to happen. But
I definitely think we're going to get at least 1 or 2 NXT guys. Because even before Rusev was Alexander Rusev, they had him in the Rumble.
Yep, that was definitely something.
Yeah, so.
Say classic guys. Is the Slaughter still real? I think he still wrestles here and there.
Yeah, I don't think he has the knees for it,
I see Slaughter being in there. We had Kevin Nash last year. He's just...
Yeah.
I don't even know who he is.
I don't feel like I know enough about where wrestling has been beyond this past year to really call the shots. One thing, though, that we haven't talked about just yet is I started watching wrestling in general, like literally this time, last year. 1 year ago.
So, let me ask you a question. Sorry. When you met us and Rob was like, oh, you should watch Royal Rumble. I don't know how that came about initially, but you should watch Royal Rumble with us. What were you thinking as your predetermined, like, oh, what is wrestling as you saw it, like, going in, like, before the first pay-per-view?
My preconceived notions of wrestling, like, my cousin Alex always loved wrestling, like, all growing up, and, like, I'll admit, I feel like I thought I was gonna hate it. Like, I thought I was, like, smarter than wrestling. Like, I thought it was fake, and I didn't really realize that there's a whole sect of fans that totally know and acknowledge that it's fake, but there's entertainment value in it. There's still the raw talent of you need to be a really great wrestler in order to pull off these moves, whether they're choreographed or not. Like, it's so ridiculously entertaining to me because I feel like it pulls in physical entertainment, intellectual entertainment, there's a humor aspect, like, I really like it. I think for anybody that admires a good story, it's really no different than, like, any kind of theater, and that's what I really love about it. It was crazy to me that I just kind of, my standout favorite when I started watching wrestling from just stood out to me, loved Seth Rollins, then got to watch him immediately win WrestleMania. Like, that was a really cool moment. He was Mr. Money in the Bank at that point. Like, it was kind of unknown, whether or not he'd be able to cash in or not. He was able to do it. It's such a hype moment. It was amazing.
Moment.
Like, as a new wrestling fan, to watch your favorite wrestler grow and get the treatment they deserve for being the talented wrestler that he is. It's unfortunate that he's not still holding it. Quite honestly, I think if he wasn't injured, he would totally still be holding it up until WrestleMania.
Yeah,
they
definitely
love him, and he's really good. The crowd loves him. He's got a huge following. So that was really cool. It was also amazing that my favorite at NXT, Sasha Banks, thought she was incredible. And she gets called up to the main roster while I'm watching wrestling. Like, it's been an unforgettable year for me in wrestling. Like, going to NXT Brooklyn, I literally cried when Sasha Banks lost. But I kind of knew it had to happen because I felt like her call-up was going to be soon. It was hinted at a lot. So it's been, like, such an incredible year with wrestling. So as much as, like, we're complaining and, like, nitpicking on little things, like, I've really enjoyed getting to know wrestling within the last year. I don't see myself not ever watching wrestling. Like, I don't think no matter what happens, I'll stop, because there's just so much that happens in the course of a year. It's insane. Like, if there's this little bump, these couple of months maybe that are a little rough where they're struggling for storylines or for new people that they're going to bring up, something crazy is going to happen. I know it, and like I don't want to miss a moment of it.
Yeah. Because like last year, the championship match was John Cena, Brock Lesnar, Seth Rollins in the triple threat match. So this year, it's like the year to year, it's like so different. Like, so literally so much can happen in a year. You find your favorite Seth Rollins, he won. We saw the rise of the New Day, as we spoke about earlier. It's like nobody saw that happening. The NXT stuff, like we got you into, and then going to Brooklyn. But before that, Beast in the East, that was like a fun moment because
that was awesome. That was such a great memory. Like, I hope that we can continue to do that year to year. Beast in the East randomly took place
4 a.m.
Like literally like what, 4 or 5 a.m.
Yeah.
They stayed over right here.
I happened to, like, I always work on Saturday mornings early, but I happened to randomly have off that Saturday because it was like some
4th of July.
Random, yeah, it was the Saturday after 4th of July. So it was just an amazing, like, fun thing. We were like, no, we're not going to wake up that early, but we'll wake up early. We woke up at like 8 a.m.,
went
to
7-Eleven,
got donuts and coffee, came back, watched wrestling, like...
And then watched Brock Lesnar destroy Kofi Kingston.
Yep.
Like, wrestling has brought in a lot of, like, really cool bonding into, like, my life and stuff, too. Like, beyond being able to talk to you guys about it. Your brother obviously has so many, like, connections and, like, stories to tell about the wrestling world, whereas
strong.
I would miss out on that. Like, if I didn't have any grasp of, like, what the wrestling world was, like, I wouldn't get to appreciate all the stuff that he gets to talk about. So, there... I don't know, I mean, this is just, like, sappy and, like, lame, but for anyone that knows somebody that is into something that they're not interested in, like, everybody out there is into something or knows something that you don't know. Like, it's worth taking a chance to figure out what that world is and figuring out what's worth it. Like, why do they like it? Because if I just literally indulged Rob, like, once or twice and watched wrestling with him because he asked me to as his friend before we were even dating, and found this world of something that I love. So, if you haven't watched wrestling and you're like, why does this girl that does vegan makeup also love wrestling? Like, give it a shot. There's so much to it that is a lot of fun.
Like, you can understand, I don't know if this is like a pet peeve of yours, like, one of mine is when people write in comments like, oh, wrestling's fake, I can watch that. I'm like, ugh, Jesus Christ. Like, we know wrestling's fake, you idiots. Like, movies are fake. You know, but we still watch those. It's like a live, it's like a play, like in motion.
If that makes any sense. It's like a sad point, I feel like, that we've reached in society where something has to be like so bona fide, so factual in order for it to be considered like valid. Like, you need to like defend it in a freaking like scientific paper that you're writing. Yeah. There's no shame in liking fantasy. Like, and wrestling is a bit of fantasy. It's a chance for us to all escape on a Monday night and watch something ridiculous that we'll never be able to do. Like, we'll never be able to wrestle in front of, like, crowds of thousands. Is it ridiculous? Yes. They totally exploit the shit out of every, you know, person. Bulgarian Rusev is Rusev, Batria. Like, he comes out and speaks his language. Like, every bit of it is so overdone, cheesy, corny, but it's fun. And that's why we watch.
Del Rio, the Mexican aristocrat, you know, just,
like Mex America. They take it to the next level, like always.
But
it's theater, and it's fun, and it doesn't make us any less intelligent for watching it. It's it's just fun. It just is. It's just fun to watch.
Just is. I like that. I like that.
But that is year one. Like, next year, not saying this is the only wrestling video we're going to do in a year, but next year it'll be interesting to recap what happened from year two. Like, talk about WrestleManias and stuff. So, to many more wrestling years.
Oh, I have my beer.
I'll just like...
Invisiclang.
Invisiclang. But to us, that is our wrestling talk for today.
Thank you for hanging out with us and giving us a chance to feel like we're doing something else that's cool.
Yes, and before...
What are you doing?
I don't know. This right here, before we end it. Bullet Club, baby. Bullet for life.
Underwater squat.
Squat.
Subscribe. Like us.